Hakima Ali, and I am a mother of a 6-year-old boy, Muad. And Muad was diagnosed when he was 21 months. He showed all signs in early age, and then, we connected with his PCB provider, and she suggested early intervention. It was very helpful to even know about autism because our family didn't have any knowledge or any awareness about autism. He was not saying the words he learned early, like mama, dada, his sister's name, all that, and then he started not caring if I leave the room or if I leave him downstairs to go upstairs. That was a big deal for me because I had his sister, older sister, who always was with me, and I was like, what's the difference? Is it a boy thing or is it like, something wrong? And then he started going under the lunch table behind the curtain, like just hiding himself somewhere, like smaller spaces. And then that was a big deal for me. I was like, why is a child who's only like 14 months doing all this? And at one point we thought he was deaf because he stopped turning with his name. It was a big deal. We consulted with PCB and she said, yes, what you're talking about is red flags for autism. But the portion that was hard was when I had the diagnosis. I couldn't swallow it. I was like, what's wrong with my child? Will he ever lead a normal life? All the questions were crossing my brain, and the hardest part is accepting it. In our community, we don't acknowledge the difference. Like, we say he will grow out of it. It's just being a child. So having all that voices around the community and in the family members, it was always that thing in my heart that I'm not sure, but I promised myself that I would do everything recommended, so just that I don't regret in the future. That's one thing I promised myself, and later on I would accept it, but it took me time. My husband the same, and now that he's growing older, I can see the challenges day by day. I would say to the Somali community or parents who have a newly diagnosed children, don't wait. Get every service that's possible, and be aware of the changes in the child, because it's very important. The earlier, the better. They say in Somali, they say you can organize a tree from the beginning, like to shape it into a good tree. But once it grows up into big tree, it's harder to even do anything. So same scenario as the child. Don't wait. If you see change, there are services over here. Yes, back home we had kids who never get this chance. We knew kids who we gave names, who never was able to attend the school, who were always the trouble child, but we didn't know. Now we are in a in a place where, or in a country where we can get assessments or diagnosis, and then get recommendation of what can best help the child. So please take advantage of this opportunity. Don't wait. My child started wandering at the age of 5. I think it's been 1 year or 1 year and a half. Yeah, 5. He tried to be independent. as his sister does. He didn't want me hold hands with him anymore. He wanted to open the door and be outside, but the sense of safety for him is challenging. He would not I'm crossing the road, I have to look both sides. So with him, we always told him, you need to be with mommy or daddy, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So then he started opening the door. This is the funny part, because my son, I didn't know my son grew this much. We had a baby proof, not doorknobs, so he can stay inside. He actually took them apart and he had it in his hand the first elopement he did. And it was like, shocking to first know that my child grew that much and he can now rip off everything and just be free. We even called the law enforcement and said we don't know, because we didn't even know how long he was gone. His dad knew where he would go, so he kind of sensed, where is he? Where does he like to go? So that's another thing, that you need to know your child deeply, what his interests are. Hadn't my husband know where his interest was, we wouldn't find him. He likes to go any open door. He will run. If the neighbor door is open, he will go in.
Oh.
He doesn't have any fear. So there was no doors open near. He went, at the back neighborhood. He actually had to go through the road. I don't know how he did it. Did he take the sidewalk? Did he, I have no clue. That was my scary moment. So he went at the back neighborhood, and there was a guy who was fixing in his backyard, some stuff. He just passed and went in. There was even a dog in the home. He didn't care. No sense of scaredness in my child. So my husband knew. Then he looked for any open doors. Yeah, and then he asked children playing outside, and they said, yeah, the child run here. We saw him running. And then he was in the backyard. So it was like my dad and my husband's challenge was he can't get his child now. It was a nightmare for him. The solution we have is we got heavy duty locks in the windows, the doors, everywhere you think your child can open to get out. That's one thing. And even I didn't know there was these locks. I had to ask around. I am in a group, parent group, and I had to ask. The only thing that helped me through these challenges were I was asking. Also, we got Angel Sense. We got the Angel Sense, GPS device. We also let him have water sensory, times at home. So we will fill up the tap and he can play hours and hours. We will have, indoor swimming pool where I actually make all my blankets at there, and so I can fill up and then he can play there. So the more I let him have what he was running for, the less he was trying. Yes, and also more outing. If you get the chance, go out, walk. Because my son likes to he would leave outside. He would not want to come home. So if you get 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just go out with your kid, because that helps him calm down his body, and that's what he wants to do. Yeah, he seeks a lot. Yeah, he's less affordant, except the noises, I think, and very bright lights. Other than that, he seeks all. If the child can swim, it doesn't matter, how old they are, because these kids are attracted to water bodies. And, giving them the opportunity to have a physical activity at indoor places, to have sensory, input, and also have the chance to get swimming classes to for safety in the future when they get these bigger body waters.